All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive with me.
Glad to be here.
So today we're going to be looking at blockchain real estate.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, I actually had quite a few listeners send in some articles about this, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I thought it'd be a good topic to take a closer look at.
So
So
I've been hearing a lot about it too.
yeah, and it kind of has me wondering, like, is buying a house actually going to be as easy as like ordering something on Amazon one day?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we might not be clicking buy now on a mansion just yet, but
Right.
the potential for blockchain to like really shake up the real estate industry is, it's definitely there.
Okay, so you're saying it's not like totally science fiction.
No,
Okay.
not totally.
Because I gotta admit, like, the idea of owning, like, a fraction of a skyscraper just sounds kind of wild.
Yeah, but you know what's wild is that like right now, fraud in the traditional real estate system costs the industry billions of dollars every year.
Right.
Yeah. So blockchain could like almost completely get rid of that.
Really?
Yeah. And that's just like one thing.
Okay, I'm all ears. I'm ready to hear more about how blockchain is gonna fix things, but, like, before we get to that,
Yeah.
let's talk about what's actually broken with the current system.
Okay.
I mean, we've all heard the real estate horror stories, right?
Oh, yeah. We've all heard them for sure. And it's all true. Like we're talking about, mountains of paperwork, weeks or even months of going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got this whole army of middlemen, like agents and banks, escrow companies, title companies, you name it.
It never ends.
It really doesn't. And they all add their own, layer of complexity and cost and the chance for things to get delayed.
Right, and don't forget about those hefty fees that just seem to pop up at every turn.
Oh, yeah, those fees.
It's enough to make you want to just live in a cardboard box.
I know it's true. The current system is like practically begging for technology to step in and save the day.
Okay, so that's what blockchain comes in.
Exactly.
All right, so blockchain. Like, I feel like I'm hearing about it everywhere these days.
You and everyone else.
Right, and, like, I get the basics. You
Yeah.
know, it's a decentralized ledger, can't be changed, everything's transparent.
Yeah.
But I want to know, like, how does it actually apply to real estate?
Good question.
Like, beyond just being a buzzword.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about buzzwords. It's about actually using this technology to fix real-world problems.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so think about, those escrow processes that just drag on forever.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
those endless title searches. Smart contracts can automate all of that.
Okay, hold on. Break it down for me. What is a smart contract in, like, plain English?
Okay, so imagine a digital contract
Yeah.
that automatically does its thing, carries out the terms when certain conditions are met.
Okay.
So let's say you're buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
Once the inspection is done
Mm-hmm.
and they verify your funds, the smart contract automatically transfers the ownership and releases the payment.
Cool.
Boom, deal done. No need to wait weeks and weeks, no more giant stacks of paperwork.
So it's like having a robot lawyer who works 24/7 and never takes a vacation.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And because it's all on the blockchain, everything is transparent and secure, so you don't have to worry about where your money is or if someone's messing with the paperwork.
I like that.
Hmm.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. But
Yeah.
what about this whole fractional ownership thing? I still can't quite wrap my head around owning like a tiny piece of a building.
Yeah, it's a new concept for sure.
Hmm.
Think of it kind of like buying a share of a company.
Okay.
But instead of stock certificates, you have digital tokens that represent your ownership stake in a property.
Okay.
So that could be like a piece of a luxury condo in Dubai,
Yeah.
a vineyard in Napa Valley, you name it.
So theoretically, I could like pool some money with some friends
Yeah,
and own a penthouse in New York City.
exactly. Blockchain makes that dream a lot more attainable.
Wow.
And it democratizes access to high-value real estate. So it means that smaller investors can get in on the action.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued, but like besides sounding cool, what are the like real tangible benefits for everyday people like me?
Yeah.
Is this just for like big time investors?
No, absolutely not. One of the biggest advantages for everyone is speed.
Okay.
Imagine closing a real estate deal in hours instead of weeks or even months.
I would love that.
Think about all the time and stress you'd save.
Yeah, I'm already sold.
Right.
What else?
Lower costs.
Ooh.
Remember all those middlemen we talked about?
Ooh. Yeah.
Blockchain can potentially cut out a lot of them, which means lower fees for both buyers and sellers.
Okay.
We're talking potentially thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars saved.
Wow, now that's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
But okay, what about security?
Yeah.
Is my digital property ownership really safe on this blockchain thing?
That's a great question. And, security is one of the biggest strengths of blockchain.
Okay.
Remember, it's a distributed ledger. So the information is copied across a huge network of computers.
Okay.
To hack it, you'd have to hack thousands of machines at the same time, which is basically impossible.
So it's like Fort Knox for my property info.
Pretty much, and it's way more secure than traditional paper-based systems.
Right, you've convinced me on the security front.
Yep.
But how does this all play out globally? Could someone in like Japan easily invest in property in Brazil using this technology?
Yes, that's one of the most exciting parts. Blockchain gets rid of geographical boundaries.
Wow.
It opens up tons of possibilities for international investment. Imagine a truly global real estate market where anyone can invest in property anywhere without dealing with mountains of paperwork or complicated international regulations.
So blockchain is like the universal translator for real estate.
I like that. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's breaking down those barriers and creating a more connected and accessible global market.
This is all incredibly promising, but I have to ask,
Yeah.
are there any downsides? It sounds almost too good to be true.
You're right to be skeptical. There are definitely challenges, and one of the biggest is regulatory uncertainty. Real estate laws are different all over the world, and the legal framework around blockchain is still developing.
So it's a little bit of a Wild West out there.
In some ways, yes, but that's where companies like Entar come in.
I don't know.
They're not waiting for regulations to catch up. They're working with lawmakers and industry experts to actually shape the future of blockchain real estate.
Okay, so Entar, that's the company that's saying they're going to put practically every property in the U.S. on the blockchain, right?
That's the one.
Wow.
And they're not just talking about it. They're actually building the platform to make it happen.
Okay.
They believe that buying a house should be as simple as clicking buy now online.
Okay, now that's a bold statement.
It is.
Tell me more about them and how they're actually tackling this massive undertaking.
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting, and we'll dive into their approach and the technology they're using after a quick break.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
We'll be right back.
we'll be right back.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dig a little deeper into this company, Entar. I mean, they're the ones who are like aiming to revolutionize real estate, right?
That's right.
Putting every property in the U.S. on the blockchain.
It's a big goal.
That's a pretty ambitious goal.
Ambitious for sure.
Yeah.
But Corey Chambers, the CEO, he's a real visionary. And he's not just like throwing blockchain at the problem. Entar is using all sorts of cutting-edge technology.
Okay.
Blockchain AI, even quantum computing.
Quantum computing. Now, that's a term I usually hear in like sci-fi movies.
I know, right?
Not when I'm thinking about buying a house.
It sounds futuristic, but it has a real purpose here.
Yeah.
It's all about speed and efficiency. Think about things like evaluating investment risks or predicting market trends.
Okay.
Right now, that stuff can take analysts days, even weeks, to crunch the numbers.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It is. Quantum computing could potentially do all that in minutes, maybe even seconds.
Really?
Yeah, it's like having a superpowered calculator that can analyze tons of data super fast.
Okay, I can see the potential there, but wouldn't that kind of power be limited to like big investment firms or something?
That's a good point. But that's where the AI comes in.
Hmm.
Entar is using AI to personalize the whole real estate experience.
Okay.
Imagine an algorithm that knows what you want better than you do,
Okay.
based on your browsing history, your financial profile,
Yeah.
even your social media activity.
Hold on, you're saying my Instagram feed could influence my house hunt?
It could. It's kind of amazing and a little creepy at the same time.
It is.
But think of it this way. Instead of scrolling through endless listings online,
Yeah.
you get recommendations that are specifically for you. Properties that match your style, your budget, even how long it takes you to get to work.
So basically, Entar's AI is like that friend who always knows the perfect restaurant or book to recommend.
Exactly.
But for houses.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of finding a place that feels like home. And it's not just about finding the property. They're using AI to make the whole process easier. Imagine getting pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes, or having your closing documents automatically generated and verified.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Especially for someone like me who hates dealing with paperwork.
I hear you. But this is all still very tech-focused.
Yeah.
What about the human side of things?
Right. Are real estate agents going to be out of a job in this blockchain world?
Not at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this technology will actually help agents do what they do best, which is build relationships, give expert advice, and guide clients through the market.
Okay.
Instead of spending hours on paperwork and logistics, they can focus on providing great service and building trust.
So it's not about replacing humans.
No,
It's about letting them do what humans do best.
exactly. And it's not just agents.
Yeah.
Entar sees a future where homeowners have more power too, with things like real estate-backed DAOs.
Hold on, back up a second. BAOs, those are those decentralized organizations, right?
Yeah.
The ones I keep hearing about in the crypto world.
Uh,
What do those have to do with owning a house?
Imagine a community of homeowners, all coming together to form a DAO that manages their shared property. Decisions about repairs, renovations, even setting rental rates would be made collectively through smart contracts.
So instead of a condo board making all the decisions, it's the residents themselves voting on issues that affect them.
Exactly. And
Right.
because it's all on the blockchain,
Yeah.
everything is transparent and tamper-proof. No more shady business going on behind closed doors.
Okay, that's pretty cool, I have to admit.
It is. But let's talk about the risks for a minute.
Yeah.
This all sounds very futuristic, but what about things like hacking or data breaches? Are we putting all our eggs in one digital basket? Those are definitely valid concerns. And cybersecurity is something Entar takes very seriously. Remember, blockchain itself is incredibly secure because it's decentralized.
Right.
To hack it, you'd have to hack thousands of computers all at the same time,
Right.
which is basically impossible.
Yeah.
They also use advanced encryption and security protocols to protect user data.
Okay.
But even with all those precautions, nothing is 100% foolproof, right?
You're right, there's always some level of risk with any new technology.
Exactly. What about the potential for this to maybe make existing inequalities worse? Does blockchain make it easier for wealthy investors to just buy up even more property, driving up prices and pushing out regular people?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it's something Entar is thinking about. They believe blockchain can actually promote more equity and access to real estate, especially through fractional ownership, which we talked about before.
Right, because if I can buy a small piece of a property,
Yeah,
it makes investing in real estate more accessible for people who might not be able to afford a whole house or apartment.
exactly. And they're also exploring ways to use blockchain to make affordable housing initiatives more efficient and transparent. So it's not just about helping the wealthy, it's about using this technology to create a more fair and inclusive real estate market for everyone.
I see both sides of it,
Yeah.
the potential benefits and the potential problems.
It is. It's a powerful tool,
Hmm.
but like any tool, depends how it's used.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to have these conversations to explore both the exciting possibilities and the potential challenges.
I agree. It's a lot to think about.
It is. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we think about property ownership transactions, even community governance.
Yeah. And that's what makes this topic so fascinating.
It definitely has me thinking differently about the future of real estate.
Mm.
What's your big picture takeaway? What's the most exciting potential you see in all of this? It is a lot to think about. It's definitely got me thinking differently about the future of real estate. What's your big picture takeaway? What's the most exciting potential you see in all of this?
You know, for me, I think it's the potential for greater access and transparency. Because right now, the real estate market can feel like a bit of a black box,
Yeah.
especially for first-time buyers or, people with limited resources. Blockchain could really level the playing field
Yep.
by making information more readily available and transactions more secure and equitable.
That's a powerful idea. But let's be realistic here. Not everyone's going to jump on the blockchain bandwagon overnight.
Definitely not.
There's going to be resistance, skepticism, maybe even some fear of the unknown.
Oh, for sure. Change is never easy, especially when we're talking about something as fundamental as like property ownership.
Right.
But I do think we're seeing a shift in mindset as more people learn about blockchain and its potential benefits.
So how do we bridge that gap? How do we get from early adopters to mainstream acceptance?
Education is key. The more people understand how blockchain works and the problems it solves, the more comfortable they'll be embracing it. And that's why companies like Entar are putting so much effort into educational resources, trying to make this technology less mysterious and more accessible to everyone.
And it's also about building trust, right?
Mhm.
People need to feel confident that their investments and their data are safe in this new digital world,
Absolutely. And that's where transparency is so important.
right?
Blockchain's inherent transparency lets everyone see exactly what's happening every step of the way. It's like a public audit trail for every transaction, which creates accountability and reduces the chance of fraud or manipulation.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the values that it represents.
Exactly.
Transparency, security, equity.
Right. And those values resonate with people no matter what their technical background is. I think that's ultimately what's going to drive mainstream adoption. The understanding that blockchain can create a fairer, more efficient, and more secure real estate market that works for everyone.
I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future of blockchain real estate after this conversation.
Me too. We're still early,
Right.
but the potential is huge. And it's not just limited to real estate. If blockchain can revolutionize something as complex and established as the real estate industry,
Right.
just imagine what it could do for other sectors.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a whole new world, and blockchain is the key that unlocks the door.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting time to be alive, and I can't wait to see where this technology takes us.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your expertise and insights with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this exploration of the world of blockchain real estate. If you're interested in learning more, I definitely recommend checking out Entar's website.
Mm,
They have a free report called The Future of Real Estate on the Blockchain that goes into even more detail on this topic.
it's a great resource.
It is. Thanks again for being here, and we'll be back soon with another deep dive into a cutting-edge topic. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.
Absolutely.